This is my TCR 260. This has been my primary racing quad pretty much since I got it built. Now, some people have asked, why am I using 5-inch props on a frame that can support 6-inch props? Well, it's because I do a lot of line of sight flying, and the longer arms make it a little bit easier to see it when it's far away. Anyway, I recently reviewed this x210 frame, and this is a QAVR clone, QAv-x clone, and this frame is pretty awesome. Now, I did build this with the 4mm plates. You can kind of see it there, maybe. I also have two 3mm frames that I'm going to put on or replace the 4mm plate with if it crashes ever. But on my 3mm plates, the little top plate that goes on the top, it did come with the correct size, so a lot of people said that theirs did too. So I don't know how I got this one with the bad one, but the other ones fit okay. But this is my this is probably going to end up being my primary racing quad. I really like this. I've had several people ask me about how well the camera is protected during a crash. Well, the answer is you can see it's pretty much not protected during a crash. So I think that's the same way that the QAv-x is also, where the camera kind of sticks out a little bit. But it does have that nice mounting plate up on the top where you can mount your GoPro on there. Now, if you have a run cam, it's not going to mount nearly as nice as GoPro would. I have one, but I haven't put it on here just because it's not easy to mount it. So today I'm going to do a little bit of flying with this, a little bit line of sight, a little bit FPV, and we'll hopefully give you a good idea of how it flies. Now, hardware wise, this is pretty much identical to the TCR 260. I'm using the DYS SE2300 or SE2205 2300 kV motors, and I'm also using the DYS XM20 amp ESCs. They're not the BL Heli S, just the BL Heli. So one other difference that I have with this is that this is also using it's called the RX800 receiver in there, and it only has one antenna, but it's a lot smaller than the X4R SB that I'm using in this one. To give you a little size comparison between the D4R2 and this little FX800, you can see it's a lot smaller and it's a lot more narrow. This one only has the one antenna, where the D4R and the X4R SB, they both have the two antennas on them. So I did have some problems with this. Well, not really problems. I just had RSSI low warnings quite a bit when I was flying with this. I flew a long ways away, probably 150, 200 yards, and it started saying RSSI low. So this may not be good if you're doing some kind of long distance flying, but for like racing, it should be okay. This one, I've never heard it say RSSI low, and same thing on the X4R SB. They've never said low. But I'm gonna do some flying now. This is using pretty much all stock settings from Betaflight 2.9.1. I didn't increase the rates. I didn't change any PIDs. It's all defaults. This is as fast as it flips. There's no like super fast flips if you're into those kind of things. But the telemetry works.
5 volts, 15.5 volts.
And the telemetry on this is connected directly to the SP Racing board, and the SP Racing board is outputting free sky telemetry for this receiver.
Volts. It is time for you to land.
crash wasn't too bad. Nothing broke on here except for a zip tie. Lost the top of my video transmitter antenna, and one of my props bent pretty good. There it is, this one here, and it's actually rubbing on the ESC when it comes around. Boom, right there. So yeah, not too bad of a crash. The camera angle is going to take a little bit of getting used to, but this x210 frame, I really like it. The battery protector on the bottom did its job pretty well, except for I got a little ding on there from probably crashing. The camera angle is pretty good. I like it. The only thing this thing probably needs a little bit of work on is having the hole on up here in the front a little bit bigger, because this camera can't tilt very well because the wires hit on this top plate. So if you were to sand out maybe 1 or 2 millimeters out of that, you'd probably be a lot better off. The way this flies though, I really like it. And the camera angle at, what's that, 35, 40 degrees or so, I really like it just like that. And it was pretty easy to get it going. I like to have a little bit more maybe, especially if we're gonna be on a tight course, to go a little faster. I also tried, I'm gonna tell you, I tried some of these 4-blade props. These are Dow 5040 by 4-blade. And I didn't like them very well. They're okay, they got a lot of low end torque, but when you get going, they just don't have the top end speed that 3-blade props have. It's probably the same thing with 3-blade versus 2-blade. They probably have a little bit more top end speed. But I think the motors just kind of struggle to spin these very fast to get a lot of speed out of it. Also, on the back of this, I was telling you I was flying with a RX800 receiver. It did pretty well. Out here I had a few times where I was probably, what is that, 150, 200 yards away. It started saying RSSI low warnings from the Tyrannus. So it did all right. You know, this is a $13 receiver versus the $28 X4 RSBs I've been buying. Boy, those really hurt. But you know, you just gotta have something. But these, I think they do real well for racing. You know, when you have a pretty tight course, even if you have a big course, as long as you're not flying more than 150, 200 yards away, you'll probably be fine. I just got warnings though. I didn't ever actually lose the connection, so I think they'll work out pretty well. And they're called they're made by iRange, the RX800s. Anyway, this is the X210 quadcopter. I really like it. I'm using a 4mm plate right now. I have 2 more that are 3mm plates, and they came with a little top plate that goes up here that's actually the right size. So I don't know how I got this one with the bad one, with the bad size, but oh well, whatever. Anyway, if you have any questions about this X210, leave them in the comments. I'll try to help you out as best I can. And if you ask me which frame you should buy, the answer is buy some with a 4mm plate. If you think that you don't like 4mm and you want 3mm, I don't know why you're asking me. 4mm plate, anything you think is cool, buy that for your first frame. You'll be fine, you'll be happy you did, because you'll have a real hard time breaking it. Anyway, thanks for watching.